This is ABC.
Good evening, I'm Jerry Tate. A fallen president is remembered 25 years after he was assassinated. We'll have the story next on Eyewitness News. Two survivors of Nazi concentration camps look back at the dark days of the Holocaust, and the City Council makes a decision on the future of an old downtown building. Jim Jaggers has tomorrow's weather forecast, and Stan Saunders has high school basketball highlights. Stay tuned.
A lot of mornings in Tennessee start with the smell of Tennessee Pride country sausage. And the taste is the taste of the clear rain that waters our spices, and morning breezes and gentle warmth. And some say you'll taste the sunrise. Tennessee Pride country sausage. There's a reason we call it that.
Walgreens has been helping bring holiday magic to American families for over 4 generations. Isn't it nice having an easy-to-shop Walgreens drugstore nearby? With the Perfection hairstyling system from Walgreens, you can have a professional-looking hairstyle in minutes. Crimp it for a perm look, or deep wave it if that's your style. For a wild new twist, use the square crimper. And to control curls, there's the straightener, the styler system at Walgreens.
When it comes to doing business overseas, you gotta know how to get it over there. You gotta span the globe. You gotta put spin on the ball. You gotta know foreign relations most of all. You gotta know the customs. You can't afford to be stopped at the border. You gotta make things happen when you get your customer's order. This reminder from Federal Express that it's not just a package. It's your business.
The very thing, and with special Big Star savings.
It's turkey time at Big Star. Gobble up a large Hyde Park.
WHBQ TV, Memphis. This is 13 Eyewitness News. With Jerry Tate, Claudia Barr, Paul Hartley Sports, Jim Jaggers Weather, and the award-winning 13 Eyewitness News team.
Good evening. 25 years ago today, America lost its 35th president, John Kennedy, to an assassin's bullet.
And even though it happened a quarter of a century ago, for many, the shock and anguish of that day in Dallas remains as vivid as if it were yesterday. There was a steady stream of visitors today at the gravesite in Arlington. They started at daybreak. There were also family members who stopped to pray and remember. But the memories of John Fitzgerald Kennedy go beyond this place. Millions of Americans remember him as a vibrant young man who brought youth and all that goes with it to the White House. And for the first time, with the help of television, the American people got a close-up look at the president and his family. The Kennedy administration, or Camelot as it was called, lasted only 1,000 days. And in some cases, the facts surrounding his administration had given way to wishful fantasies by those who remember him for what they wanted him to be. But no matter what initiatives he took or mistakes he made, those fatal shots will forever ring out in the minds of those old enough to remember, even to exactly what they were doing when they heard of Kennedy's death.
I was driving from my office in Knoxville, Tennessee, to my office in Huntsville, Tennessee, and heard the reports of the gunshots on my car radio. And I remember that I was so concerned and full of anguish that I stayed in the car.
I was on campus at A&T State University in Greensboro, walking across the campus, and of course, I was in utter shock and disbelief. Really for maybe 3 reasons. There was a personal shock when we heard the news. But also we felt that we had lost a friend in the White House who really cared about civil rights and justice for all of the people.
Well, I was in grade school, and I was at home sick, and I was sitting in front of the TV set, watching the TV, and all of a sudden there was a special report, and he started saying, Kennedy's been shot.
I sat down and cried, just actually cried. It hurt me so bad.
When I heard John Kennedy had been killed, my daughter was having her 2nd birthday party, and there were beautiful, lively little children at our house and their parents, and it was just a shocking time that we were all stunned and sad.
Only history will bear out whether John Kennedy was a good or bad president, but the fact still remains that in death he has become bigger than life. Had he lived, Kennedy would be 71 years old.
The most sophisticated plane the Air Force has doesn't look much like a plane at all. It looks more like a boomerang or flying wing than anything else. Its shape and the fact that it has no sharp angles is designed to let it fly over enemy territory without being picked up on radar. If anything, it's designed to look like a bird on radar. For more than 10 years, the Air Force wouldn't even admit the stealth existed, but today it rolled one out of a hangar in Palmdale, California. Still, nobody was allowed to get any closer to the plane than 200 feet. Even though the Air Force says the stealth hasn't flown yet, it wants to buy 132 of the planes. That would cost us, the taxpayers, as much as $68 billion.
Vice President George Bush says he has not made a decision on who will be his Secretary of Defense, even though all the speculation centers on former Texas Senator John Tower. The president-elect met today with Mexico's president-elect in Houston, but the questions about who will be Secretary of Defense still wouldn't stop. Finally, Bush indicated there would be no decision about the top job at the Pentagon this week, and he told President-elect Carlos Salinas de Gortari he would never neglect U.S. friends in this hemisphere. Today's meeting lasted for about 2 hours at the Johnson Space Center. Bush also called Canadian Prime Minister Brian Mulroney to congratulate him on his party's win in yesterday's election.
Putting clothes on your back is getting expensive. In fact, the price of clothing went up almost 2% last month to help push the overall cost of living up by almost half a point. Gasoline prices fell slightly, but the drop there was offset by hikes in the prices of electricity and natural gas. Even with prices going up, the Reagan administration's final economic forecast paints a bright picture of the year ahead. Too bright, say many of the experts. The White House projection